radio for the masses.
Headline edition, July 8, 1947. The Army Air Forces has announced that a flying disc has been found and is now in the possession of the Army.
If the game is rigged, change the game. Game changer.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
This is Fade to Black with your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
I need your help to get to the year 1985.
You're listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Welcome. Fade to Black. Bespoke radio. For the masses. Yeah. That's right. Today is Monday. Monday, September 10th, 2018. 256 days into the new year, just 109 days left. We are live from a bunker somewhere in the middle of beautiful downtown Burbank, California. And I would like to welcome everybody listening all around the world, all across the United States. Hither and thither, to and fro, back and forth, up and down, east and west, north and south, far and near. This is Fade to Black for KJCR, the Game Changer Network, and KGRA, the planet. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. What is cracking, everybody? It's Monday. I'm in the chair. It doesn't get any better. Except for the shirt that I'm wearing. Can you see it? It's cool, huh? Yeah, the Paranormal Radio app. Yep, I got the shirt. Got two of them, actually. Got the black one, too. It says like Paranormal Radio University or something. I'll wear it tomorrow. It's pretty cool. All right, it's Monday. We had a great weekend here and got lots done, and I hope that you did, too. I hope you had a great weekend. We did. And we hung out with friends and family and, just basically worked all weekend. Getting ready for this amazing week that we have lined up on the show. Also, next week, unreal. Week after, it's going to get even better. Like, for some reason, we've been able to pull this off over the years. Every single week is better than the week prior. And that's the benchmark. It's just like, how much more fun can we have this week than we did last week? All right, that's all. That's it. That's the goal, And the point that I always drive home, especially on a Monday, the point that I always drive home is you always need to remember this when you check out the shows and you see what's coming up for the week, and you're listening to me and you're checking out the guests and all that stuff. The one thing that you need to just have in the back of your mind, this was put together to make Jimmy happy, right? In that, these are the guests that I just want to hang out with. This is where I want to go to discover. This is what I want to do. And if I'm sitting here enjoying myself and asking the questions that I just need to ask and I have to ask because I'm having such a great time, it's your guest. It's your show. Bespoke. So think about that. That's all that's going on. I'm in a great mood. We have an amazing week coming up here. And then next week and the week after, and it just gets better and better. Okay? Tonight, this was brought up on the show, I want to say about a month ago. And so here we are. We're doing it tonight. Tonight, very special guest, Sandia the ET and crew. Oh, yeah, Sue Walker and the Reverend White Otter are here. Do I call him Reverend? Do I call him White? Or do I call him Otter? I'm going with Otter. Maybe Reverend is the correct thing. We'll figure that out here in just a bit. But they're here to tell us about their communication with Sandia the ET and crew who are living under Sandia Mountain in New Mexico. That's right. And their message. And we're going to discuss their Twitter feed. Sandia the ET has a Twitter feed. I would expect nothing less. And we're going to do all of that tonight. They have a book out, too, as well, called Inviting ET. We'll be talking about that. And I can't wait for this conversation. So get ready. And then tomorrow night, tomorrow is September 11th. That's right. It's funny. September 11th is there. It's just the day that nobody will ever forget. I mean, like forever, right? September 11th. Well, tomorrow is September 11th, and our guest is Justin Deschamps, and we are going to have a very open and frank discussion on all sides, all angles, all theories, and ideas about how September 11th happened. We're going to do that tomorrow. Okay, so get ready. And Justin is one of the brightest. And then Wednesday night, our favorite, Kelly Sullivan Walden, is going to join us. We are going to discuss your dreams, and we're going to take your phone calls. And do you have a dream that didn't end? Give us a call. She'll give you the end. I'm not so sure I'm making that part up. But, yeah. What do your dreams mean? How can you jump back into your own dreamscape? You know, something that I do all the time. Nightmares, love, success, all of that. What do your dreams mean? Okay? And that'll be Wednesday night. I love it when Kelly is on the show. She is such a cool person. And so she will be with us on Wednesday night. And, of course, Thursday is another Fader night with open lines all night long. John Rappaport is back off of assignment, and he will be here with his No More Fake Newsroom live. Okay, now, a couple of things. You know what to do out there on social media with us on Stellar.com, ONSTELLAR.com. On Stellar.com, go and join, hang out. New social media platform built for this community. Got a little bit of news out of On Stellar. We have been working on a total site revamp, redo. Just one of those top to bottom things, addressing all of the bugs and fixes, and also the look and the feel and things. That is all imminent. So there you go. So be ready. I'll be hitting everybody with that breaking news over the next week when we are ready to go with that. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. Facebook is still plugging along, not for very much longer. YouTube is there. You can go follow, like, and subscribe right now. Just go to jimmychurchradio.com. And the sandbox, which we use for our discussions here on Twitter, is hashtag F2B. You can do that. We have 2 chat rooms open, one over at Spreaker and one at KGRA The Planet. And, of course, any questions or comments during the show, use hashtag F2BQ on Twitter. You can also email, which is jimmy@jimmychurchradio.com. Lots of breaking news today. Let me hit this River Moon coffee. You know what we got? Speaking of River Moon coffee, we got a burr grinder for the bunker. You know what a burr grinder is? It's industrial. Let me just say that. So it's got this huge tank at the top, and you dump, it holds like, I don't know, a couple of pounds of coffee. So, right, you pour that in, and one button, and this thing just grinds a whole bunch. So that's it. Laziness. Now, it is truly just a one-button world, man. Just burn. One button, that's grinding. Water's there, done. You just pull that out, dump it in, and it's just like full pots of coffee never stop, man. It's crazy, man. This jumbo industrial burr grinder, loud too, but man, it's just the perfect grind. Okay, anyway, breaking news, lots of it. Let me get through all of it. Tesla announced over the weekend that they now have immediate delivery for the Model 3 for some buyers. But yeah, they sent out an email and inviting a certain amount. If you don't want to wait, head straight down to the dealership. We've got your car right now. And we all know that the Model 3 has been plagued by delays and so forth. And Elon Musk toking it up over the week with Rogan. Their bonds are becoming due. The value of their bonds have dropped. The stock has dropped. Elon's toking on a podcast. So anyway, they had to do something, and that's what they announced over the weekend. If you want a Tesla 3, Model 3, you can go and pick it up right now. Bank of America said, and Merrill Lynch, by the way, said that iPhone prices could go up by as much as 20% immediately if Apple shifts manufacturing from China to the United States. There's a dire warning, right? 20%. So I've got an iPhone X, iPhone 10, right? iPhone X. And I got the 256 gigabyte version, right? That's it. This thing's $1,000. It's going to be $1,200, right? Holy crap! That's insane to me, but it looks like it's going to happen. And there you go. I'd rather see the manufacturing shift here. That's all. It's jobs too, amongst other things. So that was just announced, and also, I don't know if you caught this. Huge news. Hundreds of ancient Roman coins were discovered in this city in northern Italy. And the treasure seems to be, from the pictures that I have seen, in absolute pristine, shiny, like new condition. The photos are just amazing to look at. The discovery was made during excavations in a basement of the Cressoni Theater in the northern city of Como last week, found in a jug, right? A ceramic jug, and they cracked the side of the inside, brand new. I mean, like they looked like they were put there yesterday. Don't need to be cleaned. I mean, they're just unbelievably perfect. A couple of hundred coins. They don't know much about them though. I think they've left him in the jar. But you have to see the pictures. And speaking of gold, this is incredible. Reminds me of Bre-X, but we'll get to that on another show. Miners in Western Australia have made what many believe to be two of the biggest gold nugget discoveries in recorded history. And they did it just 4 days apart. They uncovered the amazing rocks, or boulders, in the first week of September at the 45-year-old Beta Hunt, which is operated by Canadian company RNC Minerals. I didn't say Bre-X. I said RNC Minerals, and located in the small town of Kambalda, 630 kilometers east of Perth. Now, you should see those pictures, right? Insane. And all of the reports from the miners, they were everywhere you looked. It was just gold everywhere, gold everywhere. Absolutely incredible. Just happened 4 days apart. Incredible. Now, listen to me. Listen, I got a couple of other things here. I need you to listen. Okay? Scholars right now are treating the birth of an entirely red heifer in Israel as a potential omen for the rebuilding of the third temple. Evangelical Christians, citing biblical prophecy, believe it means the end of days is nigh. Yeah. If proven to be the cow of prophecy, the young calf will be the first true red heifer born in 2,000 years, an event that is meant to foreshadow the construction of the third temple in Jerusalem, heralding the arrival of the Jewish Messiah. Evangelical Christian theologians also believe the construction of the third temple will lead to, wait for it, Judgment Day. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to poo-poo on the whole thing. But the heifer, the red one, may be a plant. Yeah. There's a whole thing going on behind. They snuck in. Let's just say this. There's the possibility that there may have been some genetically perfect eggs and stuff mixed to create the red heifer that were brought into Israel a couple of years ago. Okay. So now they're going to check this heifer out, right? They're going to make sure. But if it is genetically correct and from this cow and wasn't imported from somewhere else around the world, I'm not joking about this. I'm not making light of this because they were caught before. But it just may be the first red heifer born in 2,000 years and part of this prophecy. Pretty crazy, right? Well, it's playing out right now. Cute little heifer. I was watching videos, just running around, and it's red. It's all red, too. Okay. On to the big news. Hurricane Florence has now prompted official mandatory evacuations as it gains strength to a Category 4 hurricane. It now has 130 miles per hour sustained winds, 140 to 150 mile an hour gusts. It's expected to make landfall Thursday or Friday this week directly into Virginia, North and South Carolina. We're watching it. It's playing out in real time. And if I'm anywhere on that chunk of coast, anywhere even, I'm gone. And everybody else just pack up and go. Just grab whatever pictures, couple of computers, your kids, your dogs, your cats, your birds, get in the car and go. Just go. Ain't anything worth it. It's just not. All right. Yeah. And it's minute by minute too as this thing is playing out. A couple of different predictions as to when it's going to hit landfall, but it looks like it will be Friday morning. Okay. All right. Are you sure the red-headed heifer isn't my sister? Ah, Scott, you're a God-fearing man. You're going to get hit by lightning with that kind of tweet. And just for that, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I'm going to retweet you. What you should do is tweet out your email too as well. Make sure that everybody knows exactly. See, this is what you get. You get a retweet right here. Boom. Done. You do. Yeah, you're in the path? Wow. Who is in the path? Man, I wish I could take phone calls tonight. Maybe, yeah. Wow. Send me email, tweet. I want everybody to be safe. This is not a joke. That is a very serious situation going on out there. All right. Don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. $2 a month. Click on the podcast banner at jimmychurchradio.com. You can also become a Fade or Not in our membership section of the site, and you can go figure that out on your own too as well. And don't forget to visit all of our sponsors here by clicking on their banners at jimmychurchradio.com. How do I look? I've lost 10 pounds, right? I had a really tight T-shirt on, and I had to take it off. I looked too skinny. I did. I looked too skinny. Fast Start Diet. Absolutely amazing. I'm 12 days into this thing, and I feel great. Well, the diet itself is 3 days, but Rita and I and our daughter Diana, we're going with it. We feel great. I haven't had fast food. I haven't seen a drive-through. I haven't seen a taco truck in 12 days. How crazy. I don't even think about it. In-N-Out double. Nah, not going to do it. Could do it. Not interested. FastStartDiet.com. Click on the banners over at JimmyChurchRadio.com. It's an unbelievable system that they've got put together. If it worked for me and my polluted mind and the way that you all know, the way that I post pictures of food and the way I talk about food, you know what time it is. So for me to do that, FastStartDiet.com. Go and check it out right now. Okay. Let's get the show cracking. Happy birthday to today, Aerosmith's Joe Perry, 68 years old. Colin Firth today is 58. He makes the list, not whatever that King's Speech or whatever that was called. No, not the Kingsman. No, nothing. No movies with King in it. No. Colin Firth made the list for one of the great movies of our generation. I watch it all the time. Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy. And if you haven't seen it, that's a must. It's a must. Thanks, Tirana. You know what? It doesn't even appeal to me anymore. No, you can do the monster. You can do a monster style. It doesn't do it for me. Not to say that I wouldn't destroy it, but I'm not so compelled to go and purchase one. Listen, Faded Black from Cape Charles, Virginia, Zone D, just north of Virginia Beach. Corey, be safe. Man, if you've got evacuations, Corey, just get out of town. You got you got a day? Just get out before everybody, gets that gas in front of you. So there you go. But I do want to hear from everybody on the East Coast. I do want to know that everybody there is safe. On this day in history, OTD, 1991, Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit is released as a single, and absolutely nobody expected the magnitude of what was about to happen. Seriously. Fader fact, in 1969, a musician named Jim Sullivan recorded an album called UFO. That's right. And it was about leaving his family and being abducted by aliens. He disappeared 6 years later without a trace, and the only evidence being his abandoned car found on a desert road in, wait for it, New Mexico. Some things you just can't make up. All right, tonight, our guest, Sandia ET and the crew, Sue Walker and the Reverend White Otter are here. We're going to discuss everything that is going on underneath Sandia Mountain. Now, I want to get this out of the way before I run out of time. The Prisoner, a 1967 TV show, was one of my favorite documentary series ever broadcast. It starred Patrick McGoohan, but the co-star was much more special. The Village. The Village was central to each episode of The Prisoner, and it had it all. It had the hospital, the market, the theater, the recreation center, the square, the cafe. It had its own taxi service, local only, its own telephone system, credit cards, ID cards, and everyone had a number. McGoohan was number 6. On the surface, the Village was perfect. Everyone was happy, everyone had a job, and you even worked your way to the retirement home. The Prisoner only ran for 17 episodes, but found its way into a huge worldwide following that started a little underground so many years ago when things were, a little different, right? We were in the middle of counterculture and change, 1967. An imaginary place where everything was generic, nothing commercial or privately owned. You don't own your home, no private schools, stores, or restaurants. Everything is centralized, owned and ran by the man, right? Whoever the man may be. You work for the man Who has his own police, his own courts, newspaper, television station, college and government, all of it, top down, back and forth, right? All of it in total. Could something like the Village actually exist? Yes, of course. Not only is it possible, it was real. And I lived there. Seriously, I'm not joking. I give you the Canal Zone, Panama. Effective July 1st, 1951, under an act of Congress dated September 26th, 1950, which is the 64 Statute 1038, governance of the Canal Zone was through the Canal Zone government, with the canal operated by the Panama Canal Company. The entire structure was under the control of the United States government, with the Secretary of the Army appointing the Panama Canal Company Board of Directors, and the Canal Zone government was entirely financed by the company. The office of governor of the Panama Canal Zone was given to U.S. Army active duty general officers of the United States Army Corps of Engineers. The governor was also president of the Panama Canal Company. The Canal Zone had its own police force. The Canal Zone Police had its own courts and judges. Everyone worked for the company or the government in one form or another. Everybody. Residents did not own their homes. Instead, they rented houses assigned based on seniority in the zone. Yeah. When an employee moved away, the house would be listed and employees could apply for it. The utility companies were also managed by the company. There were no independent stores. Goods were bought and sold at stores run by the company, such as a commissary, housewares, clothes, so forth, everything. The government furnished power, furnished water, furnished lawn care, groundskeeping, garbage disposal, and back in the day, for bachelors only, maid service. I'm not making it up. This was not a small village. This was 10 by 45 miles with 24 towns and 15 military bases. Imagine, no McDonald's, no malls, no colors, no advertising, no billboards, no commercial television, no newspapers, anywhere. Want to see a movie? You go to the theater. You want to shop? You go to the commissary. Every aspect of your daily life was under complete control. One court, one police force, one school system, one employer, one transportation system, one phone system, one TV channel, one newspaper, one boss, the Panama Canal Company. Want another house? Can't do it. Want to move? Can't do it. It's almost impossible. They gave it to you. In a very strange way, it was paradise. You had no unemployment. Every single person living in a house in the Canal Zone worked for the company. There were no strangers. Nobody just rolled into town looking for a job. There were no motels. There were no hotels. Everybody knew everybody, and everybody had a number. There was no stress. Everything in life was completely taken care of. No crime, no gangs, no robberies, no homeless, nothing. What did you get arrested for? I don't remember. Drinking, I guess. I don't really know. I never really saw anything happen the whole time I was there. Now, in Panama City, everything went down, but not in the Canal Zone. No. The CZ was truly the village, and The Prisoner was a real-life docuseries. Seriously, I lived there. And this is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, and I'll be right back to kick off this week with our guest tonight. That's right, Sue Walker and the Reverend White Otter and Sandia the ET and his crew, her crew. I'm not even sure. I'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is Nicole Church, daughter of you-know-who, and you're listening to Fade to Black on JimmyChurchRadio.com and the Game Changer Network.
You're listening to Jimmy Church, Fade to Black.
Fade to Black will now pause for alien identification.
The station that talks the net. KGRA Radio. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roast it to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Teppy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can get our podcast for just $2 per month. All you have to do is click on the podcast banner over at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Times are changing. The circus of politics, healthcare's low standards and high prices, and let's not forget food quality. What to do? Arm yourself with Life Change Tea at GetTheTea.com. In a world of chemical imbalance and poor air and water quality, it's time you make a move. Log on to GetTheTea.com and stock up on organic non-GMO supplements. Don't forget the tea. Cleansing your body never felt so good. And we have a brand new tea called Takedown Tea, which helps support healthy glucose. All natural body support so you can be at your best, naturally. All you have to do is log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. We're not a fad that comes and goes. We are the real deal. Join us and armor up. GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com. Changing America's health one tea bag at a time.
9 out of 10 geneticists agree.
Fade to Black is not your father's radio show on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the planet.
Do you want to lose weight but have no idea where to begin? The Fast Start Diet, a 3-day weight loss plan, is the answer. 3 days of nutritionally balanced, calorie-restricted meals delivered right to your door. No shopping, no measuring, and no cooking. Everything is prepared for you and ready to eat at home or on the go. The Fast Start Diet has all the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting without starving. We've helped thousands of people who have struggled to reach their weight loss goals. Isn't it time we helped you? With the Fast Start Diet, you'll lose weight and feel great.
Find Fast Start Diet on Amazon or go to faststartdiet.com and use promo code TALK to get 10% off your first box. And as a special bonus, Fast Start will include their #1 rated Lipo3 appetite suppressant spray free with your order. This is Jimmy Church. And whatever your diet plans are, do what I did. Go to faststartdiet.com.
Hi, this is Rob Reiner from Anvil, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
What's up? I'm Chris. What up? This is Kyle Massey, and you're listening to Jimmy Church Radio.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. You can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. You can follow Sandia the ET, too, by the way, at Sandia Wisdom on Twitter. Sandia the ET and his crew, her crew, not sure, have been living under Sandia Mountain, and lately they've been on Twitter. So you can go and check that out. How they got there with their message to the world is what our show is about. tonight here on Fade to Black. And as a professional clairvoyant and medical intuitive for nearly 30 years, Sue Walker has been featured on both national and international television. And for the past 5 years, Sue and her spouse, the Reverend White Otter, have dialogue with and translate for Sandia the ET, Commander, I don't know how to say the name, and we're going to clear that up in just a second. No vowels here. It's TLKM. We're going to get to that. And several other extraterrestrials who operate out of a facility beneath the Sandia Mountain in New Mexico. Since June 2015, Sue, together, and Otter have volunteered more than 10,000 hours assisting in telepathic translation for the Twitter account Sandia Wisdom, Sandia the ET. They have aided in translating the first known collaborative Earth-human, I don't know how to say it, publication. You'll understand everything in just a second. A basic training manual entitled The Telepathy 101 Primer is available for free as a download from officialfirstcontact.com. The links are over at our website, jimmychurchradio.com. And it's coming soon in hard copy. And I would like to welcome to the program Sue Walker and Reverend White Otter. Hey, guys, how are you? Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, we're great.
You're great.
Thanks for having us on.
Well, you're so bright and bubbly. But yes, it is great. And all jokes aside, I've been looking forward to this show for so long now. And before we get started, we have to do the first time guest disclaimer. So let's do that first. You ready?
Sure.
Okay.
Which is this. Listen to Otter. Otter's like, okay. This is the disclaimer. It's just you and I sitting on my couch having a conversation as friends. And where the conversation starts, it starts. Where it ends, but we're going to end as friends. There you go. See, simple, right?
Amen.
Hey, sounds good to us.
That's what I'm talking about. I've been looking forward to this. A couple of, I don't know if it was 2 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I had open lines, and I got a phone call about Sandia the ET, and it caught me by surprise. I didn't know at the time. I like to think that I've got a grip and I know what's going on in our community, and I had no idea that we had Sandia the ET on Twitter and the messages and things and I just thought, this is so cool. Where do we go from here? And now I've got you guys on the show tonight, and I'm just glad that we were able to put all of this together. So before, there's so much to discuss tonight. What I want to just get out and clear here for me is the lack of vowels in the pronunciation of everything. And I know I was kind of making fun of it, but I don't want to make it wrong. I don't want to say it wrong and get corrected. I would rather say it right out of the gate so I know what I'm doing. So,
all right.
Explain that to us real quick.
Absolutely. When Sandia first contacted us in September of 2013, so it was 5 years ago, pretty close to the solstice. It's 5 years ago today that I first visited New Mexico, so we're sitting on an anniversary. But what he explained fairly soon into our conversations back and forth is their written language contains or seldom has vowels. If they use them, they are borrowed from another language, just like we might borrow from another language. And what he explained was that in a verbal culture, the vowel sounds are the sounds that change the fastest over time, but the consonants much more slowly. And they found that if they wrote things in consonants, that everybody understood anyway. And so it saved time, energy, and translation issues. So when you pronounce Sandia's real name, and it took him 2 months before he admitted to me not only what his real name was, but where he was from. He first said it very quickly. And I said, Sandia, so what's your real name and where's home? And he said, well, my real name is Tilcum. And I said, what?
Right.
And he said, Tilcum. And I said, slower. Tilcum. And I said, Tilcum. Close enough. And so that's TLKM, Tilkum.
Okay.
Okay. The planet is P''NTL. And the apostrophe, he explained, in a verbal language indicated what they referred to as a lip flap, meaning you poof your lips. So the proper pronunciation of their planet would be Puntel, PNTL. And we can write it out with vowels if we choose to as PONTEL or TELL. So that's part of the language. So we refer to the visitors from the planet Puntel as the Punti. And so Commander Tilkum is a Punti from Puntel.
So
now, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So you almost can't mess it up.
Almost can't. That's correct. And that's why it's made much easier.
Oh, man. This is written for me. Okay. All right. I can't mess it up. So it's Commander Tilkum.
Correct.
The Puntel are known as Punti.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Okay. I feel good.
You got this.
Well, you know what's funny is I tell everybody, this audience, which has, I think they have a certain amount of affection for me, and it's either with an A or with an E, however you want to look at it. But they know that I try to learn something every day. And I just think I took a big step in that direction. So, okay, so let's go back now to September 2013. You said that was, Sue, I'm referring to you, that was your first time to New Mexico?
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so what happened?
Well, Reverend White Otter and I had met the year before at a sacred ceremony in central Iowa, and we spent a couple of weeks interacting with one another and got to know each other. A year later, he came up and we were working together again and began dating. Both of us were divorcees. When we began that dating process, he had come to Iowa to see how I live, but I had not visited New Mexico before and needed to come to New Mexico to see how he lived. I wanted to see if I knew what I had. And so I took the train on September 10th, 2013 from central Iowa and rode Amtrak all the way to New Mexico.
Wait, this is an anniversary.
Yes, it is.
What are you doing on the show tonight? You guys should be out painting the town.
We're talking to you.
Oh, man, what an honor. Okay. Well,
we don't drink.
Don't have to drink, but you guys certainly. This is great. Okay, let's celebrate it here on the show. There you go, September 10th,
absolutely.
5 years.
So I get to New Mexico and I visit White Otter's home, and he's been a spiritual man and studier of shamanism and energy work for more than 30 years at that point in time. And so his home was full of really interesting energy, and the scenery in New Mexico, and coming from central Iowa where it's all cornfields and soybean fields and mostly flat, the topography and being across from a huge mountain on the eastern edge of the Albuquerque area, which is where the Sandia Mountain is. The imagery was just like eye candy to me. And so I just enjoyed looking at things and learning new things about the landscape, but knew nothing of this area, absolutely nothing, except that it had a history of Roswell and these guys. That was as much about New Mexico as I knew, and the standard touristy stuff. I think I knew the hot air balloon fiesta was here. Other than that, I came in totally green and began just absorbing the learning process, at the time. I was here less than 10 days, and Otter and I were sitting on the couch watching one of the Got Talent shows, and we had just finished watching someone, and we're commenting to each other about the act that we had watched, and a voice popped up out of nowhere, a male voice, clear as a bell, just like you're hearing me right now. And it says, yes, he really was good, wasn't he? And I went, Who is that? And without knowing why, my head whipped around and stared out the picture window straight at the Sandia Mountain at a particular location. And somehow, I don't know how, I just knew that the voice came from within the mountain at that location. And I've been doing paranormal research for decades now.
Right.
And at that point in time, had been doing it more than 20 years. And so I knew that the voice I was hearing was not a spirit, not a ghost, that this was a real live individual. Who it was, I didn't know. But I've been a UFO experiencer since I was like 3.5, 4. It was the first memory I have.
Right.
But this was different. This was so clear and so precise. And then the voice went away and I went, whoa, anomaly. Don't know who it was, but anomaly. A day or so later, the voice pops up again. Comments on something that Otter and I are talking about. Next day, I hear it again. And about the third time I hear it, I finally think maybe I better ask Otter.
Right.
Because I didn't know if this was normal for this location. And I was a little afraid to bring it up. I thought he'd be putting me back on the train to Iowa thinking, well, here's this crazy lady who tells me she hears voices in my house. Okay. So I just kind of got brave and said, Otter, you ever hear a voice coming from the mountain? I keep hearing this guy. And he's talked 2 or 3 times. And Otter said, oh, them. Oh, I've been hearing them ever since I moved in. They talk all the time. They talk so much, I just don't even pay them any attention anymore. And I went, well, this guy's pretty different. And he's really clear. And he seems intent. And I don't know what's going on. I don't really want to keep calling it the voice from the mountain. And so it was coming from the Sandia Mountain. And I was new to New Mexico, and Sandia sounded as much like a name, like Sandy, as anything else. And I didn't even stop to think that the word Sandia in Spanish means watermelon.
Oh, I didn't know that. Is that right?
I didn't really. I'd learned a long time ago and forgotten it. And so the voice came from the Sandia Mountain. I thought, okay, we'll nickname it Sandia.
How close, Sue, really quick before we get too much further, what part of Albuquerque, are you guys on the north side? Where is the mountain from you? I'm assuming it's to the east, right?
It's due east of the house. We're in the suburbs of northeastern Albuquerque.
Okay.
Northwestern Albuquerque.
Okay, so you're in northwestern, so are you before the city ends and where like the highlands and the desert starts?
No, we're in an adjacent community to the city of Albuquerque.
Okay.
So we're in a suburb. We are 10 miles straight west of the Sandia Mountain.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
I mean, I know Albuquerque really well. It's not big, by the way, everybody. I mean, Albuquerque's there. You drive in and out of town pretty quick.
I got the smokestacks of intel in my way.
Okay, I know exactly where you're at.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys can see the peak from the house.
We can. And so we can see the whole western face of the mountain very clearly.
Beautiful, isn't it?
From one end to the other. It's gorgeous.
Yes, it is.
It's absolutely gorgeous. So this voice keeps coming from the same spot, and I give it a nickname because I just told Otter, hey, I don't want to call it the voice from the mountain all the time. That just sounded dumb. So I said, I think I'm going to nickname it Sandia. And he was listening, immediately pipes up, chuckles, and goes, watermelon head. That'll work. And I go, what? And I thought, who the heck are we dealing with? But I thought he had kind of a quirky sense of humor.
Right. Of course. That's cool.
So we're talking to this guy, and every time when I'm in New Mexico, I hear him, and I travel back to Iowa to my home. And when I'm in Iowa, I don't hear him. And if I come back and visit Otter, I hear him again. So over time, within about 2 months, 2.5 months, it goes from sporadic, random, to more regular, and then every day. And we get to be like neighbors talking across the backyard fence. And by that time, Otter and I kind of figured we were dealing with somebody not from here. I mean, this is the land of New Mexico.
Right. Well, did you see? And that's what I find really interesting here. Is, well, of course, we all know about Roswell, right, but there's lots of other interesting facts, both in modern history in our community, but also going back through all of the native culture too as well. There's a lot of history going on here. How much of it did you know about besides Roswell?
I didn't know any of it.
Wow.
I didn't learn about any of the other interconnected histories until much later. And so I came in totally blank, like a blank slate, and learned everything that I know directly from Commander Teal'c initially, and then it wasn't until about a year and a half after he began talking to us. And we had realized by that point in time that he had images of other individuals in the periphery of his thoughts, but we hadn't gotten a chance to talk directly to them nor been introduced to them. And in late January, beginning of February of 15, he began to introduce us to other members of his staff. And so that's when he first introduced us to a woman by the name of Trudy and a young man fresh out of school, Raz, or we've nicknamed him Radar. He just has that kind of a quirky personality. And so we began to understand more of their culture by interacting with more than just Teal'c. At the very beginning of talking with Teal'c, one of the first things he said is, "Please don't call me an alien. That term is insulting. Please don't call me a gray. I don't call you a pink or a brown. We're human too. We're just not Earth human. We're Pontel human."
It's pretty amazing, the crew and their individual personalities. And we'll talk more about that after the break. And before we get there, there has been, over the last year, you bring up 2015, and all of this recent stuff, with Emery Smith and Kirkland and underground facilities and the ET connection that is going on there. Of course, we have Paul Benowitz too as well, and what went on with Richard Doty and Kirkland Air Force Base right there in Albuquerque. Have you been following what Emery Smith has been saying?
To be honest, no. Because Otter and I came into this not knowing anything about UFO authors, community stories. We'd attended a couple of MUFON meetings, and that was about the extent of our knowledge of any of this. So all of the names, I know where Kirtland is.
Right.
I know where Sandia National Labs is, not in the Sandia Mountain, it's in the Manzano Mountains.
Right.
So we need to correct that for folks. But that was all I knew. We didn't know anything about any. In fact, the names that you just gave me, I could not repeat because I don't know them. And you'll have to tell me who they are in their stories if that's important for us to know.
Not at all. No, not at all. But
so we're all of our information comes from the Ponte, all of it.
And what is interesting though, and the point that I want to drive home, the audience is thinking the same things I am, Sue, which is, wow, it's kind of a weird coincidence here. This is pretty amazing. It's like verification of things. And if you treat all of this outside of the community, and certainly you're not influenced by that, that is something else that I think is a great thing. And you're not influenced by what others may be saying out there. And that, I think that is extraordinary.
It has helped to learn of others who have overlapping stories,
right,
that make sense with what the Ponte have told us. And people have been slowly but steadily coming forward, whether or not they grew up in Albuquerque and experienced interaction with the Ponte here because of where they grew up.
Right.
We spoke with a woman who was in her mid-70s from Albuquerque, and she wrote to us and said, I grew up here. I had experiences with the people that you describe. And they tell me, she talked to another person, they tell me that you talk to them. Can you talk to me? And I have some questions. And so at that point in time, I had the sketches that you've been putting up on the website that the Ponte had requested me to do. And I sent her several of them. She got to and opened up the email with Drudy's sketch while I was on the phone with her and began to sob.
Wow.
Because she said, I know this woman. She came through my bedroom wall with 3 others and worked on me after I had an auto accident.
I
know this woman.
Yeah, we need to take a break right here, Sue, and we'll pick up right where we're about to leave off. I wanted to ask Otter one question. Otter, how long have you lived in Albuquerque?
I moved to Albuquerque in 2005.
Oh, 2005. Okay. I was going to ask if you ran into Bobby Unser or Al Unser, and...
I know where their museum is and all of that,
yeah.
But they make the newspapers around here once in a while.
Yeah, I'm sure they own a pretty good chunk of town. Yeah, no doubt about it. I had to ask. I'm a race fan, and so there you go. Let's take a break right now. This is Fade to Black, and our guest tonight, Sue Walker and Reverend White Otter. We are discussing, that's right, Sandia the ET and his crew, who currently live under Sandia Mountain in New Mexico. Their message, what's going on with Twitter, the new book. We're also going to discuss, of course, CE5s and a way to invite. We'll be doing all of that tonight here on Fade to Black. It's going to be a great show. Stay with us.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station, Salt Lake City, Utah, Van Buren, Arkansas.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied. But you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Hello, I'm Katie Lee, and you're listening to my main man, Jimmy Church, on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Hi, this is Ray Hobbs here, repping the planet, and you're listening to my good friend, Jimmy Church, Fade to Black, on the Game Changer Network and the KGRA Digital Broadcast Station.
This is Toby Kebbell. You're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com. Don't hurt me, Jimmy. I'm only little.
Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier. And this is Ari Gold. We're the Honey Brothers.
Yes.
We are also Honey Brothers. Hey, I'm Adrian Grenier.
And I'm Ari Gold.
We're the Honey Brothers.
And you're listening to Jimmy Church.
The Revolution.
Reclaim your active lifestyle with Angioprim. Angioprim is the original liquid oral chelation supplement. Chelation helps remove toxins, heavy metals, and cholesterol in your veins and arteries that can cause blockages. Scientific research proves the active ingredient in Angioprim has superior oral chelation action that helps promote cardiovascular health. Find out more. Go to angioprim.com. Talk to a trained consultant by calling Angioprim toll-free 877-882-7221.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and you can become an official Fadernaut by just going to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
Hey, it's Grace. Can we talk about something serious for a minute? Your age. Getting old has its perks. But remember, being a few years younger, you know, your hair was thicker, you didn't have so many wrinkles, that extra weight wasn't haunting you, and you just felt better. Well, we can't turn back the clocks and go back 10 or 15 years, but you can start feeling and looking 10 or 15 years younger with Nature's Youth RSF. It's a doctor-formulated daily supplement that helps your body maintain its peak performance and fight the aging process. Imagine sleeping better, looking better, and feeling better. See how Nature's Youth RSF has helped thousands of people just like you at nature'syouth.com. nature'syouth.com. Imagine how it will feel when your family and friends are asking you what you did to look so good. Your secret will be Nature's Youth RSF. It's time to start looking better and feeling better. Learn more and order your Nature's Youth RSF at nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com. That's nature'syouth.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only use night vision goggles from Bearing Optics. You can see your very own green chrome balls today by clicking on their banner at jimmychurchradio.com.
This is Micah Hanks of the Gralien Report, and you're listening to Jimmy Church on Fade to Black, across the globe on the Game Changer Radio Network and the one and only KGRA Radio, The Planet.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. You can follow me on Twitter. Join the conversation tonight at JChurchRadio. You can also follow Sandia the ET at Sandia Wisdom on Twitter. Hashtag F2B is the sandbox. That's where the conversation is going. And I have gotten a request about phone calls tonight, and I'll see where the conversation guides us, and if we have the time, maybe a little bit later on in the broadcast, we'll open up the phone lines. But back to Sue and Otter. Otter, I wanted to ask you this really quick. You, when Sue first started to hear things from Sandia Mountain, you were not surprised. How long were you in communication or hearing somebody trying to reach out?
Well, I'd been talking to spirits for more than 25 years when I moved into this house and dedicated this property to sanctuary for spirits to come and communicate. So I was aware that the voices were there, was not aware of the fact that they were extraterrestrial or of any other type of being other than spirits at the time.
Yeah, fair enough.
After several conversations with Tilcom and Radar and Drudy, I came to the understanding that we were dealing with extraterrestrials and that they most definitely did reside under the mountain.
Sue, why do they live under the mountain?
As far as I understand, Tilcom has told us that the Sandia Mountain Station has been in existence for thousands of years. It is considered by them, they say, an information hub. When star nations come into North American airspace, they know to go to the Ponti, who are considered a neutral star nation, kind of like Switzerland might be considered a neutral nation here on Earth.
Right.
And so everybody gets to talk to the Ponti, and so they operate what they tell us are 4 land-based and 4 aquatic information stations on our planet.
Now,
this is one.
Yeah, well, okay. And there's a strange thing for me that is going on here. One, New Mexico and Albuquerque, and New Mexico in general, but Albuquerque is one of the smartest places on planet Earth. Lots of brain power there. Lots of technology, and listing that right now is just a waste of time. We know what we're all referring to. And huge think tank. Is there a connection here?
Wow, that's a real good question. I don't have the answer to that. What we do know is we have been getting personal reports from individuals who have had unusual interactions when they're doing deliveries to the Sandia National Labs.
Right.
Or deliveries to the backside or the eastern side of the Sandia Mountain of truckloads of food that they drive into what looks like a pole barn, go into the house, sign the paperwork, come out, and the truck is already empty. And they haven't seen a person. And so we've had reports of unusual experiences by locals who get regular visits. And then we had some of our native Pueblo friends let us know a piece of history we didn't know. And that was the fact that they knew about the Ponte and had been interacting with them at specific locations for thousands of years. We didn't know any of that and began slowly but surely to hear overlapping or corroborative stories from other people from all kinds of backgrounds that let us know that the Ponte had been interacting with others, whether that's people who resided in the New Mexico area or historically with our Pueblo friends or internationally with other star nations. And by the way, when you think of extraterrestrials in North America, you picture the Ponte or the Zeta type, body type with the large head and the dark eyes and the slender body and the grayish or off-white skin tone. Yeah. But in Europe, they don't picture that. The most commonly understood and known extraterrestrial nation in Europe are called the Umo. And the Umo have been communicating with scientists via letters, handwritten letters, for centuries. 60, for decades, excuse me.
Yeah,
since
about 60 years.
Yeah, since about 1950. Within the past 12 months, the Umo announced that they were actively working with the Ponte of the Sandia Mountain Station. And they were working toward official first contact.
Is that
came unbidden from us? We didn't say anything, and the Umo spoke up.
Is that part of what is going on now?
Yes.
Yes.
With the mass media and this drip, that is happening right now on the New York Times and CNN and Fox and.
It's also why they Tilcom assigned a member of his staff by the name of Tini. Her nickname, we just call her Teeny because she's very petite. Teeny was assigned to us to help us expand our telepathic skill set and handle more, but also she worked with us and dictated for us a basic instruction how-to manual to improve your telepathy. And so we took dictation from Teeny and wrote out the Telepathy 101 primer. And it's a beginning introduction book that any layperson can follow. And it was purposefully written with a touch of humor, quite a bit of humanism, and just removing the fear and the stigma behind telepathy and giving people a how-to manual that they can begin to practice.
It's also to make people ready to accept the emotional sine wave of telepathy. That is one of the key emotions that float, the telepathic information flows is emotionally.
What Otter, I think, is trying to say is the best description we can give you is the Ponti tell us that telepathy runs on essentially an emotional carrier wave. You can't have a telepathic robot. You have to have a sentient being able to dream, to connect to the collective consciousness. And that conscious sentient being has to be able to have an understanding, an emotional honesty understanding. And that's what helps telepathy be understood cross-culturally. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It does. And you mentioned a couple of things. I don't want this to get away from me. You mentioned that Tilcom and the crew for thousands of years has been interacting. So do they come to the surface? Do they leave the mountain?
Oh, yes.
They do. Okay.
Back in December of last year, Tilcom advised us that they were going to initiate more soft contact with other telepathic people around the world. And we have evidence that has been posted on our website, officialfirstcontact.com, of these encounters.
When people began, when the Telepathy 101 primer was written, it got published for free on the internet just about 9 months ago on the winter solstice.
And it's there. I want everybody to know.
There.
Yeah, you can just go to officialfirstcontact.com.
It's just a PDF download, real simple. But within 45 to 60 days, people all over the world were clamoring for a translation in their language. And so within 60 days, we had it translated into 10 languages by volunteers all over the world who wanted to be able to spread it amongst their people and have them read it in their own language and begin to practice. That started happening, and within 100 days, we had people writing to the Sandia crew on Twitter and writing to Otter and I personally from Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Canada, England, Scotland, France, Switzerland, Sweden, Mexico, and the United States, all who had requested, per the instructions, per the proper protocol, for a visit and gotten one.
Oh, really?
And then these people began to gather evidence, just as lay people. We're not talking about scientists or professionals. We're not talking about necessarily people who really even are good with a camera, but they were trying to document what they were experiencing in their own homes. So they began to send that evidence back to Otter and I and began to submit evidence of the ships that they were filming over their houses, or the things that got moved in their house, or the handprints that were left with thermal ridges, or the triangular marks left in the lawn.
Yeah, there's a lot of video here, too. I went and checked out all of it, and that's all in the evidence section of the site. I have to go back. You also mentioned deliveries. So Tilcom eats, right? The crew?
They do.
They eat?
They enjoy our food a great deal.
They're pescatarians.
Really?
Yes.
What's their favorite?
Well, they like to watch me prepare seafood dishes quite a bit. So
fish and chips or sushi? I mean, is that,
their taste runs the gamut as long as it's fish.
Salmon with crab stuffing.
No kidding.
Steamed artichokes.
All right. Yeah. Tilcom's my kind
Judy
of guy.
likes chocolate.
Really? Okay. All right. So some of the have you asked Tilcum specific questions about some of the other contact that has gone on, where there are thoughts and theories about the Greys maybe being. I'm not specifically talking about Tilcum and his crew, but that they are robotic in nature. That they're not biological, that they don't need food, they have their own energy sources, that they don't need sleep. These kinds of things.
Sure.
Have you asked about that?
Oh, absolutely. Fair question. First of all, let's talk about sleep because it's a little different than ours. Their brain is able to shut off half of itself at a time.
Hemi-sleep.
And so they hemi-sleep, partially rest half of their brain while the other brain can remain active. And then they can switch sides if they choose. If after about 10 days of that, then they need full sleep. That's what Tilcum tells us. All right,
I do that while driving.
Otter tries, and then I nudge him.
Yeah, there you go. That's interesting. Right. Okay, so 10 days. Okay.
So that's the sleep portion of it. What was the first part of your question?
Food and eating and energy.
And energy and and let's talk about the robotic nature that some people perceive. First of all, there's more than one star nation that looks similar to the Ponti with the large head and the dark eyes. And by the way, the dark eyes are a nictitating lens, like a bird or a frog might have, that is retractable. And beneath that dark protective covering, which helps them filter out excess light from our environment because our eyes are sensitive, the iris colors beneath those retractable lenses are gorgeous. Blues and greens and ambers and browns and we've seen violet. And so all of those stigmas about them not being emotional, not the Ponti. I can't speak for the other Zeta nations that look similar, but I can tell you that the Ponti certainly have a good sense of humor, and what they describe is telepathically. There's extremely formal business mode where you just kind of put the emotions aside and get down to business, get a task done. And if a human being saw them in that mode, they would think, well, this is an unemotional species, okay? Mm-hmm. But then there is a more casual business mode. I know my coworkers and can be a little bit less formal than if the dignitaries were arriving in the station, okay? Then there is friendly telepathic mode, which is how you might interact with friends and neighbors. Mm-hmm. And then there's best friend, kind of dear buddy, really open, emotional telepathic mode where you don't hold back. So there are different levels of telepathic communication within the culture that they shift back and forth to, just like you and I might.
Just like we do, sure.
Watch our P's and Q's if grandma comes to visit.
Or if you're at work.
Right. Or if your best friend comes and you decide you're going to party down, then you take on a different kind of communication.
Right.
You're
you
much
meet
more
somebody.
casual.
You don't
edit your words the same way.
Meet somebody for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
You can act differently. There's one other. I want to get on to what everybody's waiting for, which is the messages and humanity. We're going to get to that, but getting the groundwork done here. One of the first questions that anybody has when I have a guest on like yourself is, okay, so where are they from? And Tilcum says that very directly they're from the fifth planet orbiting Zeta Reticuli 2.
Correct.
Now, did you ask him the question directly, or did he volunteer this?
When I said, after knowing him for about 2 months as Sandia, I finally said, Tilcum, or Sandia, where's home? And what's your real name? And he immediately answered without hesitation, my name is Tilcom. I am considered what would be your equivalent of a commander. I supervise the operations of this station. And home is the 5th planet orbiting the further of the 2 stars of the binary system of Zeta Reticuli in your constellations. And Tilcom knew that I had run a planetarium in college and knew where that was. So he didn't have to show me, but I knew what the constellation looked like. He said, it's just a little over 40 light years away, and the other sun in the binary system looks like a distant star in our sky.
Did he
volunteered all of that at the same time?
And what about how long it takes for them to get here?
Depends on the transport and if it's got stops along the way. But when we've asked that question, we get some hesitation because they have to consider the oldness or newness of the vessel and which route it takes. But the fastest is 9 days that I know of.
9 days from Zeta. Wow. The ages, how old is he?
In our years,
right.
He would have been born in 1777, as compared to Radar Rahaz, who would have been born in our years, 1965. They normally live to be approximately 400, 450 with good health.
And how many are living under the mountain right now?
Oh, right now? Judy, how many? 78 today.
78. And
today. And they are getting more in all the time. The facility can hold hundreds.
And is there another facility on Earth, or are they the only one?
There are 4 land-based, specifically information stations.
Right.
4 aquatic deep ocean information stations.
Interesting.
And I don't know that I would say that those are all of the Ponte facilities on the planet total. I don't know that that would include anything on the moon or Mars. I haven't asked a lot of those questions yet.
That was my next question, and you already knew I was going to do that. You are telepathic. That was pretty smooth. That was amazing.
You're welcome.
Do you know? Thank you. Do you know where the locations are for these the waterbound facilities?
I know 2 of them. One is between Australia and New Zealand,
mm-hmm.
and another is close to Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean. Those 2 aquatic stations. And I suspect you have one up in the North Sea, but I haven't pinpointed that location yet. I just know that we see a lot of activity coming out of the ocean in the images and side thoughts when Drudy and I chat and she talks about who's going where. I get images along with words. You have to understand, telepathy is not like reading words on a page,
right,
or you just hearing my voice.
Right.
It's multiple layers sent simultaneously. So as she's talking, we're watching images and getting sensations and understanding the emotional impact and sometimes getting images of the other individuals involved. And so if she's talking about somebody who's going up to visit a friend up in Scotland, then or somebody that has invited them, because they are responding to invitations from all over the planet now, then it will come with side images about her discussion with whoever the crew is that's been sent that way. So we get the Ponte end of it just by chatting with Drudy, who also is a real gossiper and knows all the other Star Nation ladies all over the planet. And so she has friends.
Are they? We're gonna hit a break here in about 2 minutes. So really quick, are they connected to? Maybe I missed this. Are they connected to Roswell? And what happened in 1947?
We believe so. Our understanding is that they consider Roswell a frustrating incident that was an unfortunate loss of life that was unnecessary.
Were they from their race, though?
I believe so.
Very interesting.
That's
Otter says yes. Otter says yes. Now, you, in the middle of this conversation tonight, you went straight to Giroudi in the middle of this conversation. So they know that we're talking right now.
They're on standby. Tilcom instructed.
Oh, really? So do they listen to this show?
Radar says yes.
They listen to anything and everything they want to.
Radar's assignment was to study the media and the understanding of how it affected the PR within the culture. And your show was included in his assignment. I didn't know that until we were about ready to go live with you. And I said, "You guys ready?" And Radar said, "Oh, yeah. I listen to Jimmy all the time." And I'm going, "Oh, you could have told us earlier."
Okay, I'll give a shout out to Radar right now. And it looks like he's got some kind of Zeta Reticuli guitar.
No, that was an Earth guitar. We'll tell you that story after the break.
We'll do that after the break. And the communication, is it open like a hotline? You guys can do this all day long?
We do it all day long, every day.
And so does it start out like that? I'm very curious. You wake up in the morning and it's like, good morning, like you're punching a time clock at work and...
Kind of some days. It's more like you wake up, you look out the picture window, you see the Sandia Mountain and go, "Hey, gang, how is everybody? Good morning."
And
just like you would if it was your neighbor.
It's so... Okay, one last quick question, and we'll pick up when we come back. You mentioned the disclosure part of this and what is going on with their friends over in Europe, and I understand that. But does Trump know who they are? Does Trump know who Tilcom is?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so at all.
Really? But
I doubt it.
You doubt it.
Official first contact is about not having governments involved.
That is where I was going with this. So
you're welcome.
Yes, you guys are good. So they are circumventing world governments and reaching out to others instead.
To the world populace.
Right. Wow.
They're looking for the right-minded, mature, ready to put down their fear individuals who demonstrate their readiness by practicing their telepathy and asking for a visit in the right way.
Wow.
That's it. It's that simple.
I want mine. So, and they already know that, though. Radar told them. Let's take a break right here. This is an amazing show. Our guest tonight, Sue Walker, Reverend White Otter, and, of course, Sandia the ET Tilcom and his crew. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, and we'll continue everything after this short break. Stay with us.
Way out here, we listen to Jimmy Church.
You're listening to Fade to Black.
Always on the edge of the hottest alternative talk. Jimmy Church with Fade to Black. KGRARadio.com.
¿Qué tal, mis amigos? Yo soy Mario Carson, el tiburón, y los invito para que escuchen a mi buen amigo Jimmy Church Radio. ¡Claro que sí!
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO-free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on jimmychurchradio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. Do you want to be an official Fadernaut? Of course you do. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black. Just go to our membership section at jimmychurchradio.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You listen to us, and we listen to you. And so does the CIA. KGRARadio.com.
If you have hard water, the lime scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate lime scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
You are listening to Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Network.
Oi, oi, I'm Reese Evans. You're listening to Jimmy Church. This is Revolution. The revolution will not be televised. The revolution is on radio. Ciao.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church, on the Game Changer Network and KGRA The Planet. Tonight, our guest is Sue Walker, Reverend White Otter, and of course, Sandia the ET, Commander Tilcom and his crew. They're all here. And you can follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio, and you can follow Sandia the ET, Commander Tilcom on Twitter at Sandia Wisdom. Now, Sue, can I ask Commander Tilcom some questions?
Yes, you can.
Like right now, in the now?
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Okay. Yeah. Since they have watched us grow up and try to mature here on this planet, it's been a struggle. In their view, where are we right now? What type of beings are we? And where do they see us? Do they put us on a scale?
Yes, they do. Hang on. Tilcom is saying Earth humans must understand there is an advanced civilization level scale out amongst sentient nations within the universe, among the galaxies, plural. We Earth humans have not yet come up to and achieved advanced civilization level 0 yet. And he says the reason that we are not there yet is you get to ACL, or advanced civilization level 0, when you provide clean water, food, shelter, and in our case, clothing.
Medical attention.
Medical attention for 100% of your population.
Of the world.
Of the world.
Of the world.
So we've got a ways to go yet.
Yes.
Commander Tilcom, do you guys watch movies, Hollywood movies about ET?
That would be correct. The assignment has gone to my staff member, Radar, or Rahaz, because we have come to comprehend that there has been a shift within the Earth human population knowledge base about extraterrestrial nations. And the greatest shift to the populace emotionally comes through the popular media that we observe here. I have assigned my staff member Radar to continue to monitor and report on the changes of Earth human perception of extraterrestrials in this galaxy and their existence, plural, so that we understand the PR issues, plural, that we are facing as we move your planet toward official first contact.
The movie UFO, I watched it last night. Hollywood, big release, major motion picture. In the film, they said something interesting that, and I'm referring to you, Commander Tilcom, in that they stated in the movie, matter-of-factly, that we were 0.7 of a civilization 0, that we were not quite there yet. And I find that message is interesting going out in mass media when it's never been talked about before. Why would Hollywood choose to talk about this subject right now?
Occasionally, we dialogue with others around the planet and request a slow but steady stream of input. We nudge, and we telepathically nudge when we consider the populace ready for the next baby step of information. The advanced civilization level concept we shared on Twitter within the first year of the social media account opening. And so the concept was presented publicly, purposefully, explaining the desire to help Earth humans achieve ACL 0 and be moving toward that actively as you apply for status.
The perception that Hollywood wants us to see is a negative context when it comes to ET contact. There's going to be a war. It is not a benevolent situation that we need to prepare ourselves for this. Why does Hollywood want to paint a negative picture about ET contact? Because this is what the rest of the world sees about this, and it seems that they have their own agenda. Why paint, yourself and the rest of contact in such a negative light that there's going to be a battle?
It is a curiosity for us to observe the process or the thought process of what we have come to understand is the term false flag or false flag operation. To blame a nebulous star nation for an attack when it really truly is not coming from a star nation. To hide an attacker from above in another guise. That concept we are concerned about because there are star nations ready to introduce themselves to you and your planet and share their culture and their knowledge. And several dignitaries have come to us and stated, if a false flag operation and a blame of an extraterrestrial nation in a lie is perpetrated on this planet this close to your official first contact, those nations will walk, they will leave, they will not participate, and they will not share. So that part he has said to us. He does say that currently Earth is in a protected planet status, and out in the galaxy, not everybody gets along, and there are negative factions. He has not gone into detail, but he does say if you see it here on this planet, likely you will see it out in the galaxy as well. Not all of those exploring nations have right-minded intent all the time. And so currently there are a number of star nations keeping Earth protected until our official first contact, when they say we may, as a planetary body, vote to continue protection or not. And that's as much as he's told us, as far as I know. Can you think of anything else, Otter?
No, I mean, in some aspects, it invokes another question as to who actually controls Hollywood.
Well, that's okay. So let's stay right there. Yeah, let's stay right there. Commander Tilcom, you have told us that you have planned for official first contact in 2021, the fall of 2021.
Correct.
Who knows about this right now as far as other countries, other states around the world?
The stated time frame of the fall of 2021 has been shared equally across nations via the Twitter account.
4,700 followers at least.
But what Tilcom is trying to say is they've been open about it, and anybody who's been willing to listen, the other star nations, I can tell you, are actively working toward that time frame, and some nations have already begun arriving. And the Ponti have let us know. Sometimes when that happens, either if they come out and park outside of Neptune's orbit, or if they actually have active facilities on planet here.
Well, which leads me back to Hollywood. Is Hollywood aware of this fall 2021 timetable?
If they follow the Sandia Wisdom account on Twitter, they'd know about it.
But I don't know. That's a good question, and that's a fair question. I guess I don't know enough Hollywood people to know.
And, well, shouldn't the Ponti or Commander Tilcom telepathically reach out to Hollywood?
The nudging and the contact, the soft contact, the in-person soft contact, it has already started there.
I want to. This is directed to Radar. Do we have Radar on board?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough. I like that. Radar. You have. You understand multimedia and its importance today, and social media, of course. Why Twitter as opposed to another social media platform?
That all really was Commander Tilcom's decision, but it was based on the fact that we first started out with a Facebook account. And after about 30 days or 45 days of that and very low interaction, he said, is there any other medias available? Do you know about Twitter? He asked us, and we're going, no, we don't know anything about Twitter. Let's talk to our website guy and find out about it. And subsequently, Sandia Wisdom was started.
Radar told Tilcom Twitter existed. Tilcom asked us if it was permitted for them to open an account. And I said, well, as long as we're translating for you and there's an Earth human, who's got a name and a phone number and whatever else, then okay. I don't see why not. As far as I know, it's not illegal. And he went, all right, because they were looking for a platform to share images as well as words.
What about Radar? Are you familiar with OnStellar, onstellar.com? Okay.
Yeah, no, there's not a lot of reaction coming back as
fast on the draw on that one.
Okay, well that'll be Radar's next project tonight, and you guys will find out from Radar tomorrow about OnStellar. Yeah. And but that's the place to be, no doubt.
Okay.
And
all right.
So back to the way that these communications have been translated, and back to Twitter and social media. You mentioned earlier about this coming in layers. How do you choose what words to use when it's a visual?
Oh, that's a good one.
That takes some time and some studying. There are emotions that come along with that, and there's maybe a few words, but the images are invoked. They take time and a feeling of reaction to what's being expressed. They're quite graphic and in detail, but
I can give you
time to study.
I can give you a good for instance.
Sure.
All right. So I asked Rudy one day when I was getting to know her, hey, what do you do when you're not working? What do you do in your free time? And she immediately said, I go down to the Amazon with my girlfriends and we fly kite with the parrot flocks. And I went, what's fly kite? And immediately, within less than a second, I had layers of images of she and her girlfriends telepathically merging with an entire flock of birds and agreeing with them to use the entire flock to form imagery, moving imagery in the sky. She said it works with parrot flocks, it works with bird flocks. If you go into the ocean, it works with schools of fish. But the idea of sport, game, challenge, fun, telepathic play. So the images of she and her girlfriend sitting at the top of the canopy in the Amazon, the sunset, the distance with all of the birds moving and their concentration on the birds, the feeling of the entire merging of thousands of birds simultaneously with these people and them trying to get the birds to move into shapes, specifically animals, other imagery, and see who can do the best job. But all of the emotions of the birds came through, all of the emotions of the telepathic people playing the fly kiting, all of the physical sensation of the wind in the canopy, the history of fly kiting on Ponte a little bit, the images of schools of fish, all of that came simultaneously. And so we had to translate. How do you put into words all of those simultaneous things? And it came down to a sentence that said, we telepathically merge with entire flocks of birds to form moving images in the sky.
Right, which, and I hear that, and that is so simplified.
Right.
Right.
It dumbs it down.
Right.
And
completely.
It loses something in translation.
Completely lost in translation because it has nothing to do with anything, really. Right? Because we have emotions, we have colors, we have sights, we have contact, we have nature, we have everything that of everything that is going on, but it just comes down to that. Dumbed down.
It doesn't express the joy.
No, it doesn't express anything. You have no idea. That would come across. You wouldn't even understand. And that's the difficulty here, isn't it?
It is, and that's why Tani asked us to help her put out the Telepathy 101 primer so that people could practice getting their brains used to receiving all of this and trying to interpret, because we have the hardware, we have the pineal gland, we have the amygdala, parts of the hippocampus in the brain structure that deal with the emotional reception and understanding. We have the brain chemistry. We have the ability to connect. We're just terribly unpracticed because as kids growing up, we didn't learn to use telepathy like we learned to say mama, dada. Okay?
Right. Well,
we had no validation.
And then you have the other complexities with trying to ask direct questions and getting direct answers. For instance, if I was sitting with Tilcom all day long, I'm a history guy, right? I'm a history guy. I want to know about history. So I'm going to ask all the basic questions. What happened to Jesus on the cross, right? Were you there? Do you know anything about that? Do you know who built the pyramids? Where is Atlantis? Right? Mm-hmm. I would ask all of these, the Nazca lines. I want to know.
We did too.
I want to know, what does Giorgio Tsoukalos use in his hair? I want to know these things, right? And so, how do those direct answers come back? Are you able to ask those kinds of questions, mm-hmm. and do you get direct answers?
We do. We have, in learning about Earth's history and all of the other historic Star Nation interaction, and who gets along with who and who doesn't.
Right.
We have gotten some of that backstory. Okay. Who built the pyramids? According to Tilcom, a Star Nation group of people called the Ea, and he spells it E-A. It's how they spell it. So it's all vowels borrowed from their language. The Ea come from the area of our night sky in what would be the constellation of Orion. Okay. You know them as the folks with the elongated skulls in the Egyptian hieroglyphics, or the Paracas skulls from Peru.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Those would be Ea. There are different sects and cultures within the Ea, just like there are different groups here on our planet. The Ea that were in South America helping the Mayan and the Inca were very focused on agriculture and medicine and taking care of the people. The Ea that were over in the Middle East area, not so much. And they got into trouble. And there was a conflict. And the Ea got kicked off planet. Remained off planet.
What about Atlantis? Did you get a chance to talk to him?
Yeah, we did. The last advanced age of man, Tilcom tells us we are the fourth mammalian age of, quote, man to arise on this planet. Atlantis was the third. And before us, there was a reptilian Sauron intelligent arisal. Before that planetary climate changed, and then the age of large mammals came into play, and then we advanced. So We are the fourth mammalian age of man to walk on this planet. And Atlantis, they show us in the Atlantic Ocean. And I can show you some images of the Atlanteans and where things were. And the reason I can show you some images is about a year and a half after we began talking to Teal'c and talking about history, he began teaching us a science and study we knew nothing about. And what he showed us is historic images embedded within our landscape depicting dominant species influencing a particular area. And he called it archaeoplanetography. And he began teaching us how to find these images embedded in the landscape. And so if you Google archaeoplanetography, you will bring up images of animals and peoples that are outlined in detail within the landscape, right down to the pupil in the eye.
Right.
And as you study those images, you begin to learn Earth's history, because some star nations have the technological capability of inserting their own images in our landscape. We don't know how the technology works. We know they can do it.
Are they religious?
Spiritual.
Spiritual. Very spiritual people.
When they hear us, refer to God or Jesus or all of the other religions that we, Buddha, right? What do they think about that?
The concept that comes back from them is, if your belief is based out of unconditional love, and if it involves a loving, caring interaction with a supportive community, if that's the basis of the belief system, no matter if you call it a spirituality or a religion, then they say you can get there, because that's what it takes for a culture to begin to embrace the idea of taking care of everyone and moving toward ACL 0.
You want to take some phone calls?
We sure can.
Okay, I'm going to open up 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929 after the break. So I say that the phones light up, but they're the wrong the wrong phone lines. 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. I need to take a break, but when we come back after the break, of course, we'll open up the phone lines. But I've got to talk to Radar and find out what's up with that guitar. I have lots of guitars hanging behind me down here in the bunker. So Radar knows about that because he's looking at them right now. And we'll find out about that and take some phone calls next. This is Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. That's right. Sandia the ET and his crew are here. I'll be right back.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Metal God on JimmyChurchRadio.com.
This is KGRA Digital Broadcasting Station. Salt Lake City, Utah. Van Buren, Arkansas.
Poor water quality is a major health issue, and it's only getting worse. Municipalities can't keep up, standards have dropped, and pollutants are increasing. Where does it all end? It ends by keeping the pollutants outside of your home with HydroCare's advanced systems available at Wave Home Solutions. No less than the best purification materials and processes have been developed by HydroCare to provide you with healthy, clean water for drinking, cooking, and showering. HydroCare far surpasses the competition in removing chlorine, odors, iron, lead, chemicals, limescale, and much more. Don't settle for less when it comes to your water. We'll take care of the toughest water problems for you, whether it's from a city or well source. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, call 888-997-WAVE. That's 888-997-WAVE. Or go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
Your contact for current news and trending topics. KGRAradio.com.
Does your basement or crawl space have a damp, musty smell? Well, watch out. That's a sign of too much moisture and not enough ventilation. And that can mean increased mold growth and the buildup of harmful toxins and gases. Don't bother with a dehumidifier. It just circulates the same unhealthy air. Now there's a better way to remove these dangers and odors. It's with the computerized Wave Moisture Control Unit that reduces moisture and expels pollutants.
We replaced our old dehumidifier with the Wave unit, and in only 3 weeks, our basement is dry and the musty smell is gone.
Wave units require no maintenance, no buckets of water or filters, and costs only pennies a day to run. Breathe better, live healthier with an affordable, no-maintenance Wave unit. Call 888-717-WAVE, 888-717-WAVE, or visit dryhealthyhome.com. Dryhealthyhome.com.
Ride the wave. Wave Home Solutions for a healthy, comfortable home.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I only drink Fade to Black blend coffee from River Moon. Just click on the River Moon coffee banner at jimmychurchradio.com. Promo code F2B Blend.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of Fade to Black by just calling 605-562-4482. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Just call 605-562-4482. You can listen to me, Jimmy Church, on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Go Beckley Tappy.
You want to know a secret? I love ponies. I really love ponies. I'm serious. I couldn't stay sane without ponies to brush.
Why Fade to Black? Because you never got that pony, damn it.
This is Fade to Black with Jimmy Church on the Game Changer Radio Network and KGRA, the Global Radio Alliance.
All right, welcome back. Fade to Black. Tonight, Sandia the ET. That's right. Commander Tilcom and his crew are here, along with Sue Walker and Reverend White Otter. And I've got the phone lines open, 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. The phones are going completely berserk. So just if I don't get you through, just keep calling, and I'll try to get everybody in tonight. And before we get started, I got to ask Radar about the guitar. Radar, are you there? What's up with the guitar?
All right. So what Radar is saying is after the Twitter account was open, Tilcom began to allow him to interact. Instead of just Tilcom speaking, he let Radar and Rudy take the desk and interact and practice working with responding to questions. Radar had the assignment of studying Earth media, then that included music. And so he began to study different genres of Earth music. And one day, Rudy made the offhand comment to him, you know that Earth women like guys who can dance. And Radar, who had observed videos and music genres, went, really? Because he's young and he's learning. And so he began to study Earth dances and Earth music a little bit more diligently. One of the Twitter followers happened to be a very excellent guitar player out of Canada by the name of Kevin Estrella. And he began teasing back and forth with Radar, who is a real cut-up and has a really excellent sense of humor and is kind of punny. By the way, the puntee admire multi-layer puns and double on and triple and quadruple entendres. So if something has many layers of meaning, it's funny to them. And Kevin was volunteering to teach Radar how to play the guitar.
Oh, that's cool.
But Radar only has 4 fingers, so fretwork would be different.
Oh, man, it'd be amazing. Are we going to get a chance to hear it?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Kevin.
Oh, okay. I want to hear it. Okay.
So Kevin has become a repeat contactee, not only by Radar, who has Kevin spent a whole period of time understanding how you would do fretwork with only 4 fingers.
Left-handed.
And so taught him.
Left-handed. Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, there you go.
And so taught him, and that's how it began. Then Radar began studying Earth music and let people on Twitter know that he was doing that and was being introduced to all kinds of different things from Earth dances to Earth music. We got some unusual questions. One of the first ones was, did Michael Jackson learn moonwalking on the moon?
No,
and it was a serious question on their part.
That's a serious question. I'd ask
and
that.
And so we had to explain. One day, Radar popped up and said, Sue, what's twerking? And I had to go, let me see if I can describe this to you.
Wow. Wow.
They began to study different genres of music and began to collect them and understand them and send them home.
He's got an entire collection of Deadhead music.
The Deadhead fans, the Grateful Dead fans, stepped up to the plate and said, really, you're collecting Earth music? And we received a huge box in the mail of the almost entire Grateful Dead music collection. So along with a player, the equipment necessary and everything on a massive hard drive so that they could send it home to Pontel and play it on Earth equipment.
Wow.
I kid you not. So the Deadhead stepped up to the plate first before anybody else on the planet did. And so now the Pontee have the Grateful Dead music. They love it.
That's either good or bad. I'm not sure. So what about okay, we need to move on. I got to get to these phone calls, but ask Radar really quick. Is he a Strat or Les Paul guy? I just want to hear his answer.
Les Paul.
Really?
Sorry.
Okay. All right. Okay. There you go. All right. Question answered. Let's go.
He says, "What are you?"
I'm a Strat guy.
Oh, can he come see your collection?
Absolutely, he can.
Radar, you have permission to go to the bunker. Be careful what you wish for.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll jam. I got plenty of guitars here. Let's go to the phone. Let's go to area code 216. You're up first. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. You're live.
Okay. My question, and thank you for taking my call, is do ETs like what Trump is doing, and do they have anything to do with protecting him?
I don't believe that they have anything to do with protecting him. I have not heard anything of that from them at all. Their concern, their biggest concern, is for administrative changes that remove protection of the environment.
Thank you for the phone call. And it's always going to be somewhat political, especially these days. People want to know. And the other thing that I want all of them, Tilcom and the crew, to understand is that when it comes to disclosure, I've seen stuff in the skies. I've witnessed this community has seen things. They're okay with it, but real disclosure is always going to come down to what they will accept. Is the commander in chief and other heads of state around the world stepping up and going, okay, we're not alone. We're making contact. We've made contact. This is real. This is real. And that to them is official. So they're always going to bring up, Trump or whoever's in the White House, and they just won't accept anything else but that. With that, let's go back to the phones. Hi, you're live on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
The Awakened One.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for taking my call. This is Eric.
Hi, Eric.
Hey, Eric.
Eric.
What can we help you with, sir?
Yeah.
I think you got a little bit of a dose over the past week of some things, and I bet you've got some questions. What do you want to know?
Yeah, well, we were there at that Bigfoot or Sasquatch spiritual retreat with Kiwani, and I was wondering if you could comment on your people and their interaction with the Sasquatch, because I'm really trying to get that information out there. I think that's important.
Sure. All right. So Radar was the one that introduced us to the Sasquatch culture, because one of his best buddies is essentially a 15-year-old Sasquatch that resides up in about an hour plus north of here, around the Valles Caldera area of the Jemez Mountains in central New Mexico. There are clans that do reside in the northern part of New Mexico that Radar began introducing us to them and their culture. And what they tell us is, one, Sasquatch is a telepathic nation like the Ponte, so communication is easy. Two, they have similar humor, and they get each other. Three, they've been exploring our galaxy together for several million years. Not all Sasquatch nations are only found on this planet. We do have, as far as the Ponte tell us, 7 different separate Sasquatch nations present on this planet. And so they frequently pal around together. It is not unusual, if you have interaction with the Sasquatch, that you may also, in the same area, like we did at the Sasquatch conference in Chewela, Washington, over the past weekend, the first part of the month.
Labor Day weekend.
People attending the conference also witnessed UFOs in the sky directly overhead. All right. And people who attended the conference went home and began having interactions with our Ponte friends and calling us. And this is within a week of the end of the conference.
Yeah.
And so our paranormal photographer friend, Darrell Stokes, out of Sedona, Arizona, not only got some phenomenal footage when he was at the conference, but went home and was at his regular job, and someone visiting him said, "Did you know that there's a ET standing over in the corner?" And he went, "Really?" Yeah, and they described the ET. And he happened to have a copy of our new book called Inviting ET, which has a picture of PETA on the cover. And after he finished his business with her, he showed her the cover of the book, and she said, "That's the guy I saw. That's exactly the smile. That's him. He was the one standing in the corner." And she had no idea that Darrell had been to the Sasquatch conference with us, or that he had a side business as paranormal photographer. She knew nothing of that, knew nothing of his interaction with us, knew nothing of the Sandia crew, and yet described PETA perfectly and recognized him when she saw him.
Did you know, is PETA there?
He is.
Okay.
Yeah, he's around.
Okay. Does PETA know that PETA is Russian for Rita? I'm just saying. Yeah, I'm just saying. What does PETA have to say about that?
I share a name with your wife.
Yes. Okay, there you go.
That's wonderful.
Okay.
Can we visit?
That's up to Rita. And
She says yes.
Okay, Rita says yes.
According to PETA.
Okay, there you go. We'll get that arranged. Let's go back to the phones. Area code 207. You're up next on Fade to Black. Welcome.
Hi, Jimmy. Gareth Warren here. Hi, Sue, and hi, Otter. How are you?
Hey, good.
I've got a quick question in regards to what you said about a false flag operation, and if that were to happen, that the other extraterrestrial races would leave.
Some of them.
And not be a part of what was going on. I guess I had a question about my thought on kind of sometimes it seems like there's punishment for the many for the faults of the few. So maybe if you could talk a little about that, and maybe you could make me understand a little bit better why that would take place, considering, we have so few in power who really kind of control things and take the greater population for granted.
That's a great question, Derek, and thank you for that. I actually wanted to go back and address this. I'm glad that Derek called in with that. But exactly. Why should so many be penalized for the faults of few?
All right. So part of this you have to understand is not all the visiting star nations that come to our planet are at the same level. Some of them are just beginning their exploration of the galaxy and happen to be neighbors. Some of them have been exploring for millions and millions of years and explore and know and mapped and have mapped and will share other galaxy information as well. But it's a safety issue for some of them. It's a maturity consideration of, are we ready as a species, as a nation, as a culture? And do some of those nations who honor emotional honesty above all else desire to even begin interaction with Earth humans who start off a meeting with a lie and a blame that may involve destruction of property and loss of life? Do you blame somebody else for murder? And then go, oh, just kidding. By the way, I really want your technology. Not a good idea. And so some nations consider it a sign of immaturity. Other nations say, if they're going to do this, then are we safe coming down for ACL 0? And other nations are willing to give mature, right-minded individuals the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, you have to understand that every time a Ponte leaves the Sandia Mountain Station, they take their life into their hands and they know it. Every single mission could result in death, and there's no rescue from outside. And so it's dicey. They're trying very hard to educate Earth's population that we have friends, family, and neighbors out there that are willing to come do a meet and greet because they see that our planet is on the edge of disaster. It's a freight train that just isn't going to be stopped.
Headed nowhere.
And we're at a precipice, and they know it, and they're here to help if we will accept their help, but not if we start it with lies.
Great phone call, Derek, and thank you so much for that. And I wanted to, before I get back to the phones, go back and address what you're talking about now, but you mentioned something earlier in the show that some nations won't be invited to the table. Is that Commander Tilcom's decision? I mean, what?
No.
Oh, no.
No. He simply is operating and running the Sandia Mountain Information Facility and began the social media experiment to see if the spread of information via Earth's social media would benefit them. It was a grand experiment. They didn't know if it was going to work or not. And so other star nations began observing the positive interaction that had begun to occur via the Twitter followers and the dissemination of that right-mindedness. And here's how you invite them and get to know them in the right way instead of the wrong way. And so that's been part of this grand social media experiment of sharing information on Twitter in this fashion. It will not be and is not the only way they're sharing information now, because they are looking for and listening for mature, right-minded individuals who invite them in the right way to come visit, because they want us to get to know them and them to get to know us.
You too can be plugged in.
Yeah, so that fears are set aside, and instead there's a greater chance of an interaction and a sharing from not just the Ponti, but from 32 star nations who are desiring to do the meet and greet. The EA, who were asked to leave and haven't been on planet for a long time, actually sent delegates, and they arrived in June this year, because when they arrived, it was asked that it be publicly announced. And Drudy came over and popped us and said, Sue, we need you to get onto Twitter and share this immediately. And I went, really? What? She said, this is what you are to say. And basically they announced the fact that the EA had arrived in the solar system. And I didn't know why or it was a big deal, but it was.
What was the date on this?
It was really close to the summer solstice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to look up. If you go to Official First Contact to the archive search, you might be able to find the date of the arrival of the EA announced by Drudy.
On Twitter?
And, on the Twitter archive. One of the Twitter followers might be able to find it faster than you can.
Yeah, because it's long. I read through so much of this today. Pretty incredible stuff. But I was wondering if it coincided with some other sightings that were happening in our solar system. And before, okay, now, you also mentioned earlier that you didn't know about life on Mars or the moon, or if Tilcom and his crew may have outposts there. Mm-hmm. Is there anything in our solar system besides the moon and Mars where they may have bases or outposts?
My understanding is yes. If you look to the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, you've got a couple of the larger moons. One with an aquatic facility under the ice,
mm-hmm.
and one that's an underground facility. But the specifics of, are they interstellar bases where anybody can come and go, or only Ponti bases, that I cannot tell you. The images around them indicate a number of different styles of craft and vessels of various sizes coming and going. When I think about the periphery of what Tilcom considers when he sends those thoughts, that are not Ponti, because they have identified what the Ponti craft look like and a little bit how they're made.
I want to see these images. I've got 2 or 3 questions I've got to get out of the way as quick as possible before we have to say goodnight. And first, your artwork, where can everybody go and see that?
Right now, the easiest place is to go to officialfirstcontact.com, and you can see the images of all of that. The Sasquatch artwork has been going to and from the Sasquatch conferences, but the Ponti artwork and they continually are requesting new portraits and new images as new crew members come into play and they introduce new people. I've got a new sketch of Radar on my easel right now. But on Twitter, you can also see the images. But officialfirstcontact.com would probably be the first best place.
The Sasquatch artwork is it's unbelievably great. By the way, I'll let everybody know you need to go check that out. The book, I know it's available on Amazon. Where can everybody go and find it?
You can go to the link on officialfirstcontact.com that says Inviting ET, and that will take you to Amazon. It's available in America, in the UK, and in Europe. And will be available in a Kindle version very soon. We just have to finish paperwork for that.
So when you go to Official First Contact, everybody, at the top of the page, you'll see it right there. Inviting ET, in parentheses, is paperback. Now, you've also got a conference coming up it's in Switzerland, right?
We have two conferences. The first is in Albuquerque at the end of October. And it's a conference with a number of wonderful speakers called Stargate to the Cosmos. The second conference on the heels of that is a big deal, and it is the first ever World Official First Contact Conference. And the translator for the ETs in Europe, known as the UMO, will also be there. We just got that confirmation. Our dear friend and Zuni elder Clifford Mahuti is going to be flying to Europe and Geneva with us to explain the history of Star Nation interaction with the Pueblo peoples. Okay. And we have a number of two other speakers coming that are helping move Earth toward ACL 0. And so that is occurring the 10th and the 11th of November in Geneva.
In Geneva. Now, where can we get information for that?
Oh, you're going to have to go to Best OFC. If you Google Geneva World Official First Contact Conference, you'll be able to find it. I apologize, I don't have that link off the top of my head.
Okay, we'll get that link up on Twitter before the end of the show tonight. Amazing conversation, and I do want to thank Commander Tokum, of course, Radar, and Jerudi, and everybody else from the crew that hung out with us tonight, and of course, the good Reverend White Otter as well. Sue, absolutely amazing conversation tonight. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and expect a visit.
I'm waiting. Okay, I'll hang out in the bunker tonight.
We'll tell them.
Okay. Right. Thank you, guys, and be safe out there. Have a great conference in Albuquerque, and of course, a safe trip over to Geneva. And tell Clifford to quit being a troublemaker. He'll understand. All right.
We'll try.
I'll talk to you guys. Okay. Have a great night.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
What a great conversation. And the website is officialfirstcontact.com. The links are over on our website, jimmychurchradio.com. You can check out the artwork. The download for the primer is there. And, of course, the book, Inviting ET. You can get all of that right there, officialfirstcontact.com. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. I'm going to take a quick break, come back to some more open lines. Stay with me.
Vivica Fox here, and you are listening to my boy, Jimmy Church, on jimmychurchradio.com.
Despite popular opinion, reading a book will not make you smarter.
But listening to Jimmy Church will.
Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. This year we've experienced more than our fair share. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and last month I decided to make sure my family does not have to worry about food should we get caught in a real emergency situation. Introducing Numana, a healthy, storable product that tastes so good that you'll want to eat it every day instead of just during those times of duress. All Numana products have a 25-year shelf life, are MSG and GMO free, no preservatives, and are made in America. With the Numana pack in your home, you'll be able to sleep at night knowing that you've protected your family. Not only have I tasted and tested, I own it. Now you can too. Just click on the Numana banner on JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code Jimmy when you order. In addition to a discount, we'll send you an autographed Fade to Black t-shirt. Seriously, go Beckley Tappy. This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and I take Life Change Tea supplements every single day. It's what I do. Click on their banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. When you take the beans from Central America with dashes of Indonesian and African mixed in and then roasted to the dark side of Fade to Black, you create the ultimate brew of fringe. Introducing the Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Yes, River Moon's darkest customized roast was created for the love of Fade to Black. The alchemy of masterful roasting and smoking the beans is in every sip of this full-bodied, dark Java. I need my coffee dark, deep, with distinct bittersweet chocolate highlights, just like the bunker. Leaning further into the darkness of the roast is Fade to Black blend from River Moon Coffee. Just click on the banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com and use the promo code F2BBLEND for 15% off of your order today. Go Beckley Tappy.
Hi, folks. CBD is the home run hitter for health right now. Why, you ask? Because of what it does for the body. Unfortunately, I can't tell you all about the benefit. You know, there's reasons. Do your due diligence and log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Ancient Life Oil uses organic ingredients and is blended in coconut oil for some of the best benefits. Legal in 50 states and non-psychoactive. Log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com.
This is Jimmy Church of Fade to Black, and my family is safe because of Numana Emergency Food Storage. Just go to the Numana banner at JimmyChurchRadio.com. Promo code Jimmy10.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
This is Kristen, Erica, Brittany, Gabby, and you're listening to JimmyChurchRadio.com.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRARadio.com.
This is KJCR at JimmyChurchRadio.com.
Welcome back, Fade to Black. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Sandia the ET, Commander Tokum, Sue Walker, the crew, Reverend White Otter. Amazing, amazing show tonight. I was really looking forward to that. And what a great conversation. All of their information is over at officialfirstcontact.com. The links are at jimmychurchradio.com. All the artwork, the books, you get that free download for the primer. It's all right there. All right, I've opened up the phone lines. They're all open. 323-825-5045 or 323-275-9695 or 818-921-6929. Let's go to the phones. Area code 360. You're up first here on Fade to Black. Who's calling?
Hi, Jamie. It's Tanette.
Hi, Tanette. How are you?
I'm good. So I was trying to get on before they got off the line, but I wasn't able to get through.
Yeah, the phones were jammed. The phones were just jammed.
Right. So I wanted to ask, I was following them for a little bit, and they retweeted a tweet of mine that my UFO video.
Right.
And I wanted to ask them if that was confirming that maybe it was one of their ships or something, or that it was that it was a real sighting.
Ask them in Twitter.
I was following them for a little bit, but I ended up following like way too many people, so I had to cut my people down because I couldn't keep up with the Twitter feed.
Yeah, I know how that goes. You need to go back. You need to go back into Twitter and ask them. I mean, I'd like to know.
Right, me too.
Okay, well, there you go. Sorry you couldn't get through on the phones tonight. They were just completely jammed up. And
right, and I always seem to call in at the last minute, which is not a good idea.
Yeah, I know how it is, Tanette. But what a great conversation tonight, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It was really, really awesome. I'll find them back on Twitter again. And you guys, if you're listening, I'll go back and follow you again, and maybe you can answer my question.
There you go, Tanette. And thank you for the phone call. And let me, Twitter, it's amazing that we have Sandia the ET, Commander Tilcom, and his crew, Radar, and everybody else right there. I'm PETA on Twitter. So if you have any questions, go and follow them. And I'll see if I can get a retweet going here in just a second with their Twitter feed and get it up there. Let's go back to the phones. I think this is Steve from Bluefield. Steve, is that you?
How are you, Mr. Jimmy Church?
I'm doing fantastic, man. This is kind of strange. 2 weeks in a row hearing from you. What'd you think about this conversation tonight and what's going on underneath Sandia Mountain?
Well, I loved it. I really get into that kind of, because I think that they've been talking to us for a long time through, telepathy. Encouraging, people, especially with the things that go on in Hollywood.
There's that part of it, and I like the idea of using social media to not only get the message out, but to have a two-way communication going. But there's another part for me, and that is, it's like the elephant in the room. Paul Benowitz, right? I mean, right. Paul Benowitz was having contact out there for quite a long time, and it just makes you wonder, and that combined with what, Emery Smith and others have been talking about. The list is so long when it comes to New Mexico, Sandia, and Dulce. There are no coincidences. I just hate to say that.
Right. That's exactly why Area 51 is where it's at.
Area 51, or do you mean Dulce?
Well, Dulce, but that. They're all part of that whole complex.
Oh, yes, and connected, sure, underground especially, yes.
Underground, and that whole general area there, as far as looking at the map goes, is completely covered with underground facilities.
What did you think?
Ours and theirs.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What did you think about? I wanted to ask you this. Fall of 2021. That's the big day for disclosure.
Well, I hope that date, rings true, that it comes about. We've been waiting for such a long time that, I'm tickled with any date that happens while I'm still alive.
You're obviously you're going to be around for a long time. You're not going to be able to shake that for a while, no matter what you think. But the I keep saying these things that we hear over and over again, right? The drip, drip of disclosure and what's going on in the media and science and discoveries and fast radio bursts and exoplanets and life on Enceladus or Europa. And we've got Phobos and its monolith right there on Mars. We've got all of this coming at us all the time. And then we have this type of information coming directly from underneath a mountain. It seems like this world is about to get a real rude awakening very quickly, and we better start behaving.
Well, definitely, Jimmy Gaia is going to give us a really rude awakening if we don't take care of this planet. This is our only house, and we better take care of this house.
There's another point that was brought up, and it blows my mind that there may be some nations that are gonna not want to sit down at the table. Who do you think would be stupid enough not to sit down at the table? Russia, China, a small nation like I don't know. Just pick a small nation from around the world. It could be whatever. You know what I mean?
Zimbabwe,
Yes. Or small island nation somewhere that would choose not to sit down at that. I mean, who would be that stupid?
Jimmy, that's the best question of the night. Who would be that stupid? I mean, and you would think that it would be mandatory that there's a representative from every nation, whether you liked it or not. You would think that there would be enough pressure from all the other nations, to put pressure on whoever doesn't want to show that you've got to show. Not only as for the aspect of humanity and Earth, but just out of respect.
And
for the beings that are there.
That's right. That's right. And it reminds me of, I hate to go back to Hollywood, but it's one of the best examples because so many people have seen the film and they can understand what I'm trying to say. If you go back to the movie Arrival, where every country had the same opportunity here, and they were, including us, misinterpreting, not understanding the message and not understanding what was in the language, right? And some thought that they were talking about a weapon, and some that they were, and as it turned out, it was actually a time travel message that was there. And what the gift was, right? Well, the point being that we started fighting amongst ourselves and
right off the bat,
and confused ET, right? They didn't understand what was going on. And maybe they did, right? Maybe they did. But that's where we go first, right? And so here we have this opportunity that may happen in the fall of 2021. And if you don't agree to share this information and the technology and understand it and accept it on their terms, you're not going to get invited to the table. You know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to try to get the edge up on somebody else, whether it's us over Russia, Russia over China, China over us, or England or Spain or Canada, or it doesn't matter, right? You just pick the country. And we're going to start fighting amongst ourselves instead of understanding the message.
Well, hopefully, Jimmy, these beings have done this enough, with introducing themselves to different species, that they have enough experience in how to go about introducing themselves without there being some kind of gain given, or taken by one group, one nation over another.
Well,
that's one of our biggest problems anyway, is greed.
It's greed.
That's why we're in the boat we're in.
Greed and religion.
You're right, Jimmy.
Right?
Greed, religion, and politics.
Right, right. And Super Cyber Mall, it's a great Twitter name, by the way, Super Cyber Mall, just tweeted out those whose religious beliefs would be challenged. Just came in a few seconds ago as I said what I said. Pretty interesting. Those whose religious beliefs would be challenged will not want to attend an ET conference. They will think it is of the devil.
That's typical religious, not thinking, Jimmy.
It is, and for you, I'm talking about you personally, Steve, who has experienced not a near-death experience, but a death experience. Right. Does religion come into the mix for you when we start to talk about ET?
Not at all.
Why is that? Why is that?
If you read the Bible, Jimmy, it's clearly stated that he is the Lord of all worlds. So to not think or believe that he hasn't created other beings in the universe, I don't think you're understanding the Bible. For the people that believe that that's something, devilish. I mean, it's, to me, I don't grasp how, I guess, they can find different meanings in the Bible, or different, they find a way to make the Bible say what they want it to say, Jimmy.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, Steve. All right. Okay, fair enough. So I'm going to ask you something direct. I've never asked you this question before. Nobody is a saint. Nobody. I don't know what you have done in the past. I don't know if you've robbed banks or stole candy from stores when you were a kid. I don't know about your past. But certainly, when you did have your experience, you died. When you went through that, did you stop and think about something you did in the past, and was that about to be brought up?
It didn't cross my mind, Jim. I was.
Whose mind did it cross, Steve?
I don't know, but it surely wasn't mine at the time. I was so overwhelmed and with the feeling of love and happiness and peace that the last thing I was going to think about was,
when he stole that case of beer in high school, right? Yeah, because I know you did.
Jimmy, we all will fall short of the graces of God.
Sure. For me, it was when me and my friends.
We're all, we're all sinners.
Yeah.
We are all sinners. I don't care if you're the Pope.
Well, we know that answer, but
that's right.
Yeah, for me, it was when me and my friends stole a Camaro and joyrided all the way to New York and back in a few days. That was a lot of fun.
Well, I guess some of the worst things, we used to vandalize cars when I was younger with eggs.
You know what? I remember. I never did this, right? I never did this, but I remember some friends of mine, and this was like our senior year in high school. Had come up to me and said, "Hey, man, we're gonna go. I forget what they called it. There was a name for it. Going out and knocking down mailboxes." Right?
Right.
But there's a name for it. I can't remember. And they were like, "Come on, man, let's go, man. We're going to go." And I was like, you know what? I got to pass. I got to pass on this. I don't think that's cool. But, when you think about something like that where, in high school where it's considered like good-natured fun, or at least it was back then. I didn't dig it. I didn't dig the idea, but I'm sure that most people wouldn't even consider that, looking back in their life, as doing something that was bad.
No, I mean, I never got into that either, Jimmy. The one good reason why I didn't. Well, I did. I was along for the ride in several occasions. But what turns me away from actually being the batter up is what we called him. A friend of mine, Andy, was we were in his mom's brand new Oldsmobile, and he another buddy of mine was driving, and Andy was in the passenger seat, hanging out the window, and somebody had got wise to his mailbox getting busted every weekend.
Right.
So he put in this like solid steel mailbox and, welded, 1/4-inch thick walls, tubing around, and made it look like it was just an old plastic mailbox. And when Andy swung the bat, it ricocheted the bat back and busted out the back passenger windshield.
Oh, man, I love that
was the
story.
last time that happened.
I love that story. Speaking of Oldsmobiles, we're on live radio right now, and I don't know if my family is listening back east, but the things we did to my dad's Oldsmobile, and I felt like I was getting away with it, but I know that I wasn't. Parents are too smart. And then one day, after a night in my dad's car with me and my friends, I came home from school. So I had a set of keys to his car, right? And I had them on my bookshelf in my bedroom. And so, I would ask to borrow the car. I wouldn't have to take his keys. I had my own set of keys, right? And I came home after a night in his car, and I came home from school, and I walked into my bedroom, and I looked, and the keys were gone. Right? and that was it. That's the message to me that he knew. And so I went, and I'm not making this story up, man. And I hope that they listen to this, because he's just laughing right now. But so I go and I call his office, and his secretary picks up the phone. I said, "It's me, Jimmy," and she starts laughing, and I'm like, "What's going on?" She goes, "Hold on," and I heard her yell to my dad, "Jimmy's calling about the car." so he had already told the whole office, right, the story.
Yeah, everybody knew.
And they're probably laughing, and they waited, for me to call all day. And he goes, "Ask your mom for the keys back and tell her I said it was okay." And I said, "That's it. We talked about it." All right. And the things, and it was an Oldsmobile too. That's the funny part to the story.
And the bad part, Jimmy, about it with the Oldsmobile that my buddy Andy mom had, it was brand new. It was not even like 3 weeks old when we done this, And then about 6 months after that, we totaled the Oldsmobile skipping school. So we were not only busted for skipping school, we totaled his mom's brand new Oldsmobile. Yeah. I mean, we done some pretty bad stuff, I guess, as when I was growing up.
But
it was,
I know, I know, and I was thinking about that earlier today, and some of the things that today just wouldn't pass the sniff test, right? I mean, it would just be totally wrong. I'm serious. I forgot about all of these things because we dismiss them, as, some of the things that my interaction with the police when I was 15, 16 years old and what the police did today, I mean, back then I wouldn't even tell my parents, right? Because I didn't want to get in trouble from my parents. It's not like I would have, chosen to go to the police station and go, hey, do you know what that cop did to me and my friends last night? No, we didn't do that. Today, it would just blow up on YouTube, right? It would just be this huge thing with but no. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, the police knew me on a first name basis by the time I was 10.
And that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about.
Growing up in the country, like we were constantly on, four-wheelers and motorcycles, where, it was illegal to have, four-wheelers and motorcycles on paved roads. Well, we didn't care that they were paved. If we wanted to ride the motorcycle to school, one day, we rode the motorcycle to school one day and just, parked it, out back, in the woods and walked the last 100 yards to school. And then after lunch, skip out on school and jump on the bike and,
rode home
ride
to
the end of the day, and then showed up, and my parents, worked every day, and, they didn't get home until 4:30 or 5, and school let out at 2:30 for me. And if I wasn't playing, a sport at the time, we had quite a while to get into mischievous activities.
That's exactly it. And the point was, don't get caught. And you're in the safe zone.
Don't get caught.
Or think that you don't get caught because your parents knew. But that's okay. And we live in a different world today. It is just so funny. Steve, I got to roll out of here, my friend. Thank you for the phone call. Brother. And we'll see you tomorrow night right here on the show.
Yeah, and everybody don't forget that Jeremy Corbell's movie with the Skinwalker is out. The premiere is tomorrow. You can get it.
There you go. Oh, The Hunt for Skinwalker.
The Hunt for Skinwalker, yeah.
All right, Steve. Thank you for reminding everybody, and we'll get the links up for that right here on Twitter. Thank you so much.
Jimmy, brothers, always. Thanks for the time.
That's Bunk Steve from Bluefield, right there. What a great conversation tonight. What a great show. What a great start to the week. Fade to Black's executive producers, Rita Camarion. Show is produced by Hilton J. Palm, Renee, Dennis, and Bob. Announcers are Steve Harder, Gene Vito, and Mark D. Kovar. Webmaster is Drew, the Geek. Music, Doug Aldrich. Intro, Spaceboy, spaceboymusic.com. Fade to Black is produced by KJCR for the Game Changer Network, and syndication is KGRA, The Planet. This broadcast owned and copyrighted 2018 by Fade to Black and the Game Changer Network. It cannot be rebroadcast, downloaded, copied, or used anywhere in the known universe without written permission from Fade to Black or the Game Changer Network. I'm your host, Jimmy Church. Follow me on Twitter at JChurchRadio. I got to thank Sandia the ET, Sue Walker, and Reverend White Olive. What a great show tonight. I'll see everybody tomorrow. Justin Deschamps right here for our September 11th special broadcast. Until then, everybody be safe. Go back, Lee Tappy.